What's your name?
Christiana.
This is Christiana. Christiana. This is Christiana, and she's never held a snake before, other than this little one right here. She held it for a bit really well, so I thought it would be fun to get her to help us out and do this with us.
Snakes are really reactive, so you don't want to tease them or scare them. You can't hesitate too much, but you also don't want to grab them too quickly or without warning.
So when grabbing a snake, you don't want to do it like, you don't want to just grab them and scare them, but you want to be able to, grab them and not be afraid. So let's do that right now. Why not? Huh?
Okay.
Okay, so take this. Grab this. Follow me. Film me. Look at the lens. Very good. Come, we're going. Oh, it's so exciting. Okay, so let's grab one that's not too big because we don't want to scare Christiana. Okay, so right away the snake might think that I'm going to feed it. It's looking at me like, hey, what's going on? So what you can do is just give them a little tap. Not like you don't want to bother them. You just tap them on the head and you let them know, hey, oh, see? She thinks we're being... Well, let's try that again. So that snake thinks it's feeding time and she got very excited, and she's not usually like that, but let's try with another one. See, with this one, I'm not even tapping her because she's not excited and she doesn't think it's feeding time. This is also a very bad example of how to hold a snake. Okay, let's go back to the room. Okay.
I have to pull that big one?
You'll be fine.
Alright.
Just hold her nicely. Just hold her nicely and support her well. Make her feel safe. Okay, very good.
Tip number 2. Always make sure you support them. See how I'm holding Luna wonderfully between my 2 hands?
Not like the way that Matthew grabbed her with one hand.
You really want to support them and make them feel safe.
So she just showed you a really good way of how to do it. And supporting with 2 hands. Like I grabbed her out like this, but I could also kind of feel the balance of her weight, but you still don't want to do that because it doesn't make her feel safe. You can see how calm and sweet Luna is though. No problem, even if you kind of do things wrong a bit. I don't want to try and, like if you don't support her, she'll get kind of scared and she'll start freaking out, and that's a very easy way to get bit. If you support her nicely and hold her so that she's not scared, she's relaxed, her tongue is flicking a lot and everything, then we see that she feels safe, and this is very good.
Okay.
Do that. Very nice.
Tip number 3, if you get bit by a snake, don't put it away.
So if a snake bites you, you don't want to put it away, because if you do put it away, it's kind of rewarding them for their bad behavior.
Let's think action and reaction. If your reaction to the snake biting you is putting it away, then that's teaching it that if it bites you, that you're going to leave it alone. On the other hand, if you don't react to getting bit, then it basically just shows them that there's no point in biting you. Just act as if it didn't happen, especially if it's a small snake.
After you have somebody.
We're having fun.
Oh my gosh, you look
Okay.
gorgeous.
Come in.
I hate to rush.
It's all good.
We have to go.
Okay.
We have to go to Hamilton.
One quick photo. We gotta go though.
Okay, fine.
I'm sorry, Matthew. I knew you were gonna take Christiana.
Okay.
Luna.
Is that the same one that you've had for like years?
I've had her since she was a baby.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
We're going to Hamilton
Why are you going to Hamilton?
for a wedding.
Oh, wonderful. Did you like the makeup Ariel did?
The makeup Ariel did is beautiful.
Wonderful. So everyone should subscribe to the Makeup Mama, right?
Not the makeup mom.
What is it now?
Stellar Beauty Studio.
What?
Stellar Beauty Studio.
Wonderful. Okay. It was nice to see you.
Me too. I hope to come by soon to see you guys again.
Okay.
And anytime.
It was nice to meet you, Christiana. Okay. You did a great job. You did an excellent job.
You like it?
Yeah, very nice, very nice. What were we saying? We're basically saying don't put them away. Like if a snake bites me, one of the things that I'll do is I'll hold it for like 15 minutes. That way it just realizes that if it bites me, I'm not gonna put it away just because it bit me. Tip number 4, be consistent. So you can be consistent with your snakes and hold them from the time they're little. Sometimes even something like keeping them in your pocket like that is fine. Especially doing it from the time that they're little. Take the snake out and hold it. You can just hold it until it calms down and then put it away. Something as simple as that, you know, you come home for work, you hold your snake, it's a little bit nervous, it's a little bit scared, you just hold it until it calms down, and then you put it away, and you're good. Another thing that you can do is when you're holding it, you want to slowly get it more and more comfortable with you. So petting it, touching it helps it to realize that, you know, you're around and you're always there, and then slowly working your way towards their face. And by playing with their face a bit and petting their face and kind of rubbing their teeth line almost, you get them used to that. And at first, they might not like it the most, but over time, they get used to you doing that. You see she's not pulling her head away, and we got it comfortable with you playing with its face. And when it's comfortable with you playing with its face, it's going to be good for basically anything. So that way you know that when you have your snake out, and let's say you have a friend over and they want to pet it or something, if it's okay with you touching its face, it's going to have absolutely no problem with you petting it. And then you can tell your friends, yeah, you can pet it, touch it, but just stay away from its face, just to be a little bit extra safe, even though you're doing that all the time. Because when you do that, you end up with animals that trust you, that are comfortable with you, and that are used to human touch. And that's the important thing. And now for the last tip. Don't anthropomorphize. Don't anthropomorphize. I can't even say it. Don't impose that they love you or they hate you. It's a big problem. You know, people, you might love your snake, and that's great. It's wonderful that you love your snake, but your snake's never going to love you, but it's also never going to hate you. So some people, they get a snake, they're so excited, they're like, oh my God, it's so cute, it loves me. And then they get bit by it, and they're like, oh no, it hates me, what am I doing wrong? I don't know what to do. And it's not as simple, it's not as complicated as that. Snakes are very simple creatures, and that's what I love about them so much. They're still very smart in their own ways, and they do feel things, but they don't feel complex emotions. So your snake's never going to look at you and be like, oh, there they are, I love that person so much, I would, you know, attack a puppy for them. No, like of course not. Like they smell food, they get excited, they see you, they could be happy that you're there because it's like, hey, you're gonna take me out. And that's what they're thinking about. They're not really thinking, oh, there's my friend, I'm gonna get to spend time with my friend. They're more like, hey, I'm gonna get out and explore and stuff. But you can definitely build relationships with them. And they definitely will like you, or they could dislike you. And they just like things and they dislike other things. But they're never really going to love you, and they're never really going to hate you. And if I was to grab this snake at the wrong time, so just like the other snake that it actually struck, she never strikes at me, and I can take her out usually pretty well. But yesterday was feeding day, so a lot of my snakes got fed. And there's actually a couple dead rats in the room that I have to go get rid of now. But the smell of the rats turns on to feeding mode. So it's really important to understand that, like, if I would have just reached in and grabbed her, I probably would have been bit. But because I knew, you know, hey, feeding mode, she has a very strong feeding mode. So I had to just check and be careful that she wasn't in feeding mode, and she was. On the other hand, Luna, same room, still the smell, but she's just a calmer. Luna isn't a very strong feeder, and she still eats well, but just every snake has different personalities, every single snake, and some will be a lot more calm and some will be a little bit more tense. And just because they're a little bit more tense doesn't mean that it does mean they're more likely to bite you, but if you learn to read them and understand them, then you should never get bit by a snake. But if you do get bit by the snake, it is important to understand that it's almost always your fault. you did something wrong. You know, you picked it up when you shouldn't have, or you picked it up when there's food in the room, or you scared it, or something like that. But it's never really the snake. Well, it could be the snake saying get away from me because it's young and it's scared or something, but the snake in general is never really going to just bite you because it's like mean and it wants to bite you. It'll bite you because it's scared. So you just take your time, spend your time, get to know them, build that trust with them, handle them, and if you do get bit by them, just keep holding them, act as if nothing happened, and eventually the snake will realize that there's no reason to bite you. Another reason that a snake might be nippy is if something's wrong. So if the snake has, let's say, snake mites, or the conditions aren't right, it's, you know, drying out, or like not enough humidity, or nowhere to hide if they want to hide. You want its conditions to be right on. If the conditions are not right on, that's the only other time that you really might get bit by an animal. But anyways, I hope these tips helped you out. Hope you enjoyed that. Smash the like button, and if you want to like see a little bit more of working with a snake that doesn't want to be handled, check out this video of me handling a green tree python that no one has ever handled before, and that's very nippy, and you can just see how I slowly build a relationship with Alpha.